You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And today, the Giants lose a weird one, man, at Oracle Park. So they fall 4-2 to the Twins, just one more game before the All-Star break. Today was full of near home run drama. With the game tied in the eighth, Pat Bailey hit a 417-foot triple, but was stranded at third base as Matt Chapman weakly popped out to end the inning. The game was tied. We also had a Carlos Santana air quotes home run that may not have actually been a home run. Not really sure based on the lack of a good camera angle. If only we had the technology to fix this going forward. Looking at you, Major League Baseball, and Rob Manfred, the worst commissioner in all of sports. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. If you are not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so right now. Hit that subscribe button, please. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you get the show, we appreciate it. Make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. This episode of the Locked On Giants Postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. This game had so many momentum swings back and forth. And from the jump, the Twins, they had a very, very, very strong start. Woods Richardson was on the mound for them today, and he has been a pretty solid guy for them this year, a 3.51 ERA. But the Giants made him work. They made him throw a ton of pitches. He did have 7 strikeouts, but only 1 walk. All those pitches the Giants were battling off and seeing didn't translate to many free 90s for them. They did collect 7 hits off of him and score 2 runs, got him out after just 4 1/3. But the Giants couldn't do much damage against this bullpen. They only had 1 hit against the Twins bullpen after chasing Woods Richardson from the game, something that this team has that's very unlike this team. They've been a late hitting team all season long, but as of late, they've kind of been doing their damage early on and then coasting to the end. So today, we also had a Hayden Birdsong start. He pitched really well in this one. It's a shame that the Giants kind of spoiled this start, and they also put him through some, the defense didn't really do him many favors, put him in a couple tough positions. Let's get through it. In the top of the 4th, we were kind of cruising until then, 0-0 game. Jeffers was hit by a pitch to start the inning, then a Wallner triple. It was actually a double and then an error by Yastrzemski. Yaz bobbled the ball, kind of kicked it around a little bit, and then overthrew his cutoff man, which allowed Wallner to take the extra base, allowed Jeffers to score from second. Bad defensive play for Yaz, something we don't see a lot by this Giants team. That hit by pitch and the error directly result in the Twins taking a 1-0 lead and a runner at third. And then right after that, a ball gets through Pat Bailey and the runner scores from third, man. A passed ball, straight up passed ball, not a wild pitch. The ball didn't hit the dirt or anything. Bailey just missed it, man. And this is so weird because sometimes we'll see Pat Bailey do this when there are no runners on. There will be a pitch that he should have that doesn't, tunnel right into where he put the glove, but he's got to kind of move a little bit for it, but he should be making those kinds of plays. This was just weird for one of the best defensive backstops in all of baseball to miss that pitch and just let it kick back to the backstop was very uncharacteristic of him. Run scores, Twins take the lead 2-0. Without that hit by pitch, the bobbled ball by Yaz and the missed cutoff man and that passed ball, none of these runs score in that inning. So that was, the hit by pitch, that one's on Birdsong, but the Giants defense just did absolutely nothing to help him out in that inning there. And Twins took a 2-0 lead. Only one of those runs was ruled as an earned run. Then in the bottom of the 4th, 2 strikeouts to start the inning, but then a Conforto walk followed by a Wilmer Flores double, which that was nice to see. Wilmer's been ice cold all year long. He has not been good at the plate. A little extra base hit for Wilmer. We'll take it. Second and third, 2 outs for the Giants. Yaz inside outs one slowly into the third base and shortstop hole. Castro can't make the play. Yaz has an infield single and scores Conforto. Giants still trail, though, 2 2-1. Then in the 5th inning, Hayden Birdsong gets in a little bit of a jam and pitches around it. We actually had a Logan Webb in-game interview where he talked about how this was the most impressive part of watching young Hayden Birdsong pitch. Remember, this kid's only 22. This was his 4th game as a big leaguer. In every outing, he has shown that he's able to pitch around jams with runners in scoring position and get out of it with minimal or no damage. He did the same in this one. Hayden Birdsong, if you're looking for something to hang your hat on going forward, Birdsong has not allowed more than 3 runs in any of his starts so far. Kid has been every bit as good as build for the San Francisco Giants and has a lot to build on for this second half of the season. We'll get into his day a little bit later in the show. Then in the bottom of the 5th, Soler back at it again, double machine. His 20th of the season, rips a double, and then Ramos single scores Soler. Ramos has a pretty long on-base streak. He's got a 13-game on-base streak going now. Chapman, of course, had that 24, 25-game streak earlier this season. So Giants have had a couple guys with pretty long on-base streaks. He's also got a 9-game hit streak going. So Ramos rolling right on into the All-Star game. Great piece of hitting by Ramos to tie it up at 2-2. That run chased Woods Richardson from the game. And I thought I wrote this down in my notes. Dude has 7 Ks. So good thing they got him out of there. Yeah, no, that was not eventually a good thing for the Giants, as the Twins bullpen just really shut this offense down. I mean, the Giants, as I said, 1 hit after Woods Richardson exited this game, and they did draw that. No, actually, I lied. I thought they drew a walk afterwards, but they didn't. They had exactly 1 base runner after the Twins starting pitcher exited this one. So the Giants could not get to the bullpen at all. And then in the top of the 6th, man, with Taylor Rogers in as Birdsong comes out, we get the first big drama moment of this game, or I guess not the first one. The first one was the Pat Bailey pass ball, but we get another one as Carlos Santana hits one down the left field line, and it hooks what appears to be just to the left, just foul right before it connected with the pole. There's a big net over there. All the nets that we got around Major League Baseball now, because people can't pay attention to foul balls coming their way. I get that it's a dangerous thing sitting down the line if you don't got those fences there, but come on, we're all at a baseball game. I'm not a big fan of those that netting stretching all the way down to the foul pole. I think that's a little excessive. Yes, sometimes you get flying bats down the third baseline and things like that. The net down the third baseline, I have no problem with. Why is there all this netting in left field though, and in right field, where you should have plenty of time to react to something coming over there if you're a fan watching the game. And if you don't, then I'm sorry, but maybe you should be paying attention in a game where there's things flying around at 100+ miles an hour. That's kind of the point of it. So that net kind of produced a weird angle from the camera, not a weird camera angle, but you couldn't really see the ball very clearly in that shot. The net kind of muddied it up, and you couldn't really get a clear view of if that ball passed in front of the foul pole or behind it. And they reviewed it. The Giants challenged the play, and they went to New York, and the call stands, which, as you guys know, if it's not confirmed, that means they don't really know either. They're just going with the call on the field. I mean, dude, it is 2024. How in the hell do we not have like the NFL's got the pylon cam? How do we not have the foul pole cam? It is 2024. Major League Baseball has billions of dollars. I mean, come on, dude. Like, someone climb up there and tape a damn iPhone to the top of the pole and just get a nice view straight down from the top of the pole. Like, what are we doing? How does Major League Baseball still have this be a question? Take it a step forward. Anyone watching the Euros, all these offsides calls, like, dude was offside. I don't remember which game I was watching, but there was a guy who was offsides by like a literal toe, and they were able to see it with their video replay. What the hell, baseball? Like, I know we don't want like the game to be completely robotic, but this seems like a pretty easy thing to do. Oh my God, we should be getting home run calls right in 2024. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I personally have rewatched this thing probably like 100 times. I do not think that ball was fair. I think that ball was foul. I didn't see it change direction at all. I think if it hit that pole even a little bit, it changes direction. It doesn't seem to. I think that's a foul ball. But because we had insufficient video evidence, which is the most annoying thing in the world, the Giants then go down 3-2 as that home run counts as a home run. It was almost another one down the right field line. The next batter puts one like just a an inch or two into foul ground next to the foul pole in right field up on top of the wall. That one went to replay review as well, but they were able to determine that one was a foul ball since there was no damn net in the way. So Carlos Santana gets a home run, which it shouldn't have been, in my opinion. I don't think that was a home run. You also, if you were watching Michael Conforto, he didn't really react. Like, he had like no reaction, which is pretty typical of a guy when they see a foul ball. Like, he's just kind of, okay, let's get back in position, next pitch. And then he kind of does a little bit of like a hesitation, like looks back into the infield at the umpire, and he's signaling home run. He kind of pauses there for a second. So all of that, the body language of Conforto, all of that tells me he didn't hear that ball clank off that foul pole. I think that was a foul ball. I don't think that should have counted as a home run. Nonetheless, call stands 3-2, Twins lead. Then in the top of the seventh, we had Pat Bailey was involved in so many aspects of this game. Willie Castro tries to steal third base, and Pat Bailey hoses him at third, potentially saves a run. Would have been a runner at third with one out. Instead, it's 2 outs, nobody on, and then the Giants get out of that inning with no more damage done. Rodriguez was on the mound for that one. Great job by all involved. Rodriguez getting to the plate quick, Bailey with the great pop time, Chapman with the good tag and getting over to third after he was way off that bag to start that play. So great job by the Giants defense on that one play. Then in the eighth inning, top of the eighth, Eric Miller on the mound with runners on the corners, drops a curveball into the top of the zone to get Margot looking for strike 3 to end the inning. It seemed like the Giants were starting to stage a comeback. The momentum was starting to roll for another one of these late Giants rallies. And in the bottom of the eighth, Pat Bailey delivered. But unfortunately, he plays at Oracle Park when he's at home. He hit a 417-foot triple into Triples Alley, as we know, at Oracle Park, and hit off the bricks. Bailey gets the third. Chapman ends up going up with 2 outs, and his first 2 swings at that at bat were completely non-competitive. Pitches that were way off the plate, check swings that you end up being called a strike, are just the worst feeling as a batter. And you could tell Chapman, after he got into a quick 0-2 hole on both of those really awful swings, he was just not feeling good at the dish there. And then he ends up weakly popping out into shallow right field to end the inning. That Pat Bailey ball, home run in 29 out of 30 parks. He got oracled. Then in the ninth inning, Sean Jelly kind of collapses a little bit, gave up a bunch of hits, but did get a double play to kind of get that inning moving a little more. But that double play could have been handled a lot differently. It was a bases loaded ground ball to Tyro Estrada with the infield in, and Tyro flips around and throws to second, and then they get the double play at first on the back end. But if you're looking at the runner from third, who is Vasquez, who does not run very well, Vasquez wasn't even like a third of the way down the line to home plate. Like, he would have been out by a mile if Tyro had thrown that ball home. Instead, Tyro throws the second. The Giants roll the double play successfully, but the run scores. Twins lead 4-2. Tyro could have gone home with it and got the out. I don't know why he didn't. Then in the bottom of the ninth, the Giants don't pose a threat at all, and the Twins walk out of here with a 4-2 victory. And now the Giants are in the same position that they've been in for these last 6 series now that they've won the first game of. Is you got to win the final game of this series to end up with a winning series. They've the last 2 series they dropped after winning their first games in said series. They were able to pull it off against the Dodgers, and they were able to win that rubber match. So hopefully the Giants can get back to their winning ways in rubber matches this season. They have been pretty good overall in such games, but lately, the last 2 times that they've been out in this exact same scenario have not gone the Giants' way. So they're going to be looking for a win tomorrow to end the first half of the season, go into the All-Star break with a series win. And I think that matters, man. I think guys want to be sitting there thinking about winning over the break, not thinking about how this team has been losing and is not really rolling and isn't where they want to be. And Farhan Zaidi himself went on the Murph and Marcus show, my guys, my old stomping grounds at KMBR. And he said that if the Giants were still losing games at the break, if they kind of limped into the All-Star break, they would probably have to sell. That's concerning to me, because if we're selling right now in year 6, when are we going to build for the future? When are we making a playoff run? So a lot is riding on this series. I think it could just honestly determine if the Giants are buyers or sellers at the deadline if they win this series. Maybe Farhan's mind is already made up because this team will be under 500 guaranteed at the deadline. But who knows, man? Who knows? They're guaranteed under 500 at the break, I should say. The deadline's still a little ways away. But I think the Giants might end up being sellers at this point. If they keep losing series, even if it's close, the writing's on the wall. I mean, we might be seeing some guys getting shipped out of here, and who knows what that's going to look like. Doval is obviously a name that's been thrown around. I vehemently do not like that idea. I think Doval in the back end of this bullpen is something that you should not mess with. I think that they are fine. Maybe next year when you have the Randy Rodriguez and all these Reggie Crawford, who's just lighting the world on fire in AAA. If you have these guys coming up and making cases to be the closer and setup man of the future, then you maybe need to have a conversation about Doval. But I think for right now, we're still a little ways away from that. I want Doval on this team still. And past that, I don't really know who you trade. You're really thin at a lot of other positions. So I don't know what the Giants are going to do if they're, quote, sellers, as Farhan said they could potentially be. A lot riding on this final game of this series tomorrow, potentially, so much so that it could even change the course of what the Giants do at the trade deadline. It could turn them into buyers or sellers potentially based on how they end this first half. So a lot riding on the Giants series against the Twins, and only one more game before we hit the All-Star break. A lot more to get into from today. This defense was not great. Hayden Birdsong was, though. Hayden Birdsong was really, really, really good. Also, we have the MLB Futures game today where Bryce Eldridge played, and we got to take a peek at that as well. Tons of stuff. We didn't even mention the Core 4, man. What am I doing? The Core 4 were inducted to the Wall of Fame. We got to talk about all that, too. Man, there's just so much to get into today. I have no idea how we're going to get to it all, but we will try on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. This episode of the Locked On Giants postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rival cities. With hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com, you might just find your perfect stay even in your baseball rival city. Oracle Park is the best stadium in all of baseball. I don't got to tell you guys this, but sometimes you should go and check out some other stadiums just to remind yourself of how great Oracle is. Of course, in Denver is pretty nice. So is Petco down in San Diego. Dodger Stadium, not my favorite place, but all those cities are pretty fun this time of year. So if you're looking for an adventure this summer, check out one of those places. Go check out a rival stadium and see how much better we have it here at Oracle Park. From hotels that overlook stadiums to family-friendly resorts, Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travels this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. And today's show is also sponsored by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you are looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants fall 4-2 in a game that could have really gone either direction. I mean, take a look at any number of key plays in today's game. That pass ball from Pat Bailey, the bobble in right field by Yaz, the Santana home run that shouldn't have been a home run, the Bailey home run that in any other ballpark in baseball is a home run. I mean, there were so many things in this game. The Tyro play where he, in the ninth, where he decided to go to second instead of home. There were so many plays in this one that were just, I mean, razor thin margin of difference in this one. I mean, it could have gone either way, really. I mean, so many things. One of those plays goes a different way. This whole game could have had a different outcome. And there was so much that happened today. We got to take a quick, brief overview of the Core 4 induction into the Giants Wall of Fame. Of course, I'm talking about Jeremy Affeldt, Santiago Casilla, Sergio Romo, and Javier Lopez, the Core 4 from the Giants World Series wins in the 2010s. All of these dudes are so deserving of getting on that wall. Casilla overlooked a lot. I hear a lot of people talking about how he doesn't quite match up with the other three, and that's just not true. Santiago Casilla was a massive part of 2014, and the Giants straight up don't win that World Series, don't get there without Santiago Casilla. Sergio Romo, we all know the 2012, I mean, striking out Miguel Cabrera. I mean, dude showed up today in the ceremony with the same shirt that he showed up to that Giants parade with, the 2012 parade. And if you know, it's the shirt that says, "I just look illegal." Sergio Romo loved getting a little spicy with the Giants fans. Dude is just the El Machon walkout. I mean, Sergio Romo, for my money, probably my favorite reliever of the bunch. He's got such good energy and good vibes. Dude's just always hopping around out there. But Affeldt, with the great versatility he had for those teams, with the awesome sinker that he had, and just everything, just ground ball machine, double play machine. You would fit in great with this Giants rotation right now. Wish they had an Affeldt in the bullpen to kind of bolster what they've been going through lately with the number of innings this bullpen has had to pitch. We could swap him out for Luke Jackson. Great idea. And I mean, obviously, Javi Lopez. Who can forget that Phillies series where Javi just made Chase Utley and Ryan Howard look silly the entire time? So today was a great day for the Giants to honor the Core 4. They even had like a cool giveaway. It was a Mount Rushmore esque kind of thing. It was the Mount Core 4 more, a little statue with all 4 faces of the relievers on it. Pretty cool. And of course, the 4 plaques getting put up on the on King Street on the Giants Wall of Fame outside the stadium, there for eternity for us all to look at and honor and pay our respects to those great Giants. They had a nice ceremony on the field before the game. Nobody throws a ceremony quite like the Giants. It was a spectacle. It was great. I just wish we would have been able to watch it on TV. I hate MLB on Fox, man. This broadcast is so frustrating. This broadcast had so many San Frans in the which just makes me cringe every time I hear it. And this broadcast team also said, I think Buster Posey might be doing something with the Giants now. And I really hope that all my Giants fans out there, you guys all know Buster Posey is part of this ownership group, not just, quote, might be doing something. I mean, is there any team out there that a Major League Baseball, like a National Major League Baseball broadcast, is more underprepared for than when they come to Oracle Park? It just is so frustrating every time they're out here. It's like painful to listen to it. It pains me. Plus, halfway through this one, my coverage gets kicked out because we had a massive event today in the U.S. and in the political realm. I'm not getting into that. We do not talk politics on the Locked On Giants postcast. But the only reason I'm bringing this up is because all of that coverage kicked me off of my Giants game, man. I'm just trying to watch the Giants on a Saturday. Please let me just enjoy my life a little bit. And man, that was just a frustrating day for the Giants. And for me personally, having to battle back just to get my game on the TV, man, that was frustrating. I was getting really frustrated in the middle of this one. I missed like the Hayden Birdsong jam, man. I wanted to break it down for you guys, but I had to go back and rewatch as many highlights as I could. But because I didn't have my trusty YouTube TV, I couldn't rewind, couldn't do nothing, man. I thought it was just, man, frustrating. So I went back and I combed through all the details I could, and I looked at all the pitch combos that Birdsong was using, and dude was really nice on the mound today, mixing and matching up there. He's been doing a lot of work with those off-speed pitches, and today he was pretty good again as well. That slider, man, looks so good when it is on. It is on. The drop that he has on it looks more like a curveball, but it's nasty nonetheless, whatever the hell pitch that is. He had a pretty good swing and miss rate, 23% whiff rate on all of his pitches today. That curveball, he only threw it 11 times, but man, does it look good when he throws it. He's been really effective with that all season long. He also had a 75% swing and miss rate on his changeup, which is pretty damn good. I mean, dude's been really solid all season long. As I said at the top of the show, 4 starts now, has not given up more than 3 earned runs in any of these starts. And now you have back-to-back days where you have 2 pitchers. Last night, Kyle Harrison. Tonight, Hayden Birdsong. 2 pitchers, 22 years old, and they both came out and pitched 5+ innings in 1 earned run or less. That's amazing. That's absolutely stellar for the Giants. It's a lot to build on going forward. And this is something that the Giants have been looking forward to for quite a while, is all these guys coming to fruition. As I said, back-to-back outings from 22-year-olds who have each pitched at least 5 innings in those outings and gave up just 1 earned run. I'm curious as to when, if ever, the Giants had something like this happen, where you had 2 guys 22 years old do something like this. I mean, Birdsong, I think this guy's going to be like the Giants' secret weapon in this second half of the season. Obviously, he hasn't had a lot of ramp-up time in the minors, the least amount of innings since Tim Lincecum for a guy before he comes up to the majors. He's got to be able to keep that arm on his body for this second half of the season and stay healthy, something that Giants pitchers haven't been able to do all year long. And if he can, I think that this guy is going to really, really be a big part of this Giants potential playoff push. You need all the arms that you can get with the starting pitching being the way it has been this year. Birdsong, I think, is going to be a big part of that. Birdsong, Harrison, both, obviously. Harrison, we knew that coming into the season. But if Birdsong keeps doing what he's doing, Harrison has obviously been really good all year long. Webb, same thing. If you have those 3 guys rolling, and then you can kind of play around with Hicks moving back and forth between the starting lineup and the bullpen, or the starting rotation in the bullpen, and see what you got with the rest, with the Robbie Ray, with the Alex Cobb, with Blake Snell, all these dudes. Just throw it at the wall. Whatever sticks, go with it. That's my suggestion for the Giants pitching in the second half of this season. But either way, Birdsong, I think, is a huge, huge, huge part of that tonight. He gave you a lot to look forward to. We got to take a quick break in this one. On the other side, I mean, we got so many things to talk about in so little time. I'll try and jam as much as we can into this one before we get on out of here on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll be right back. Here on the Locked On Giants postcast, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Because tax season is never over. Just because tax season is over, it doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/locked-on. And be sure to mention Locked On Giants at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount off their services. Tax Network USA. And today's show is also sponsored by Stitch Fix. You know what? You know that instant confidence boost you get from an outfit that makes you feel and look really good. That's what I get with Stitch Fix. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. They send me 5 just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and pro styling advice. I keep what works and send back the rest. My stylist always sends just right pieces, and the fit is on point. It's like they have style ESP. I don't know how they do it, but they just get me. Stitch Fix makes it all so easy. I don't like to shop, and they save me all that time and effort. Plus, I get outfits that make me look and feel really good. And if you don't love something, just send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Now's the best time to get started at stitchfix.com/MLB and get $100 off. That's $25 off your first 4 fixes for a limited time only. That's stitchfix.com/MLB. Get $100 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days within signing up. Offer does not include kids' fixes. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We don't have a lot of time left in this one, but I did tease earlier in the show Bryce Eldridge. I mean, we got the All-Star break festivities starting already. Today we had the Futures game, and Eldridge, 19 years old, was a representative for the Giants in this one, and he has been awesome this year in the minors. If you haven't been paying attention, now is the time to start paying attention to what Bryce Eldridge is doing in the game. He had 2 at-bats, picked up a hit, and scored a run in the game. And then also Eldridge, this season, he was a first-round pick 1 year ago, 16th overall, began this year in single A, San Jose, down there with the San Jose Giants. He hit 263 and had a 800 OPS, 801 OPS, 14 doubles, 10 homers, 45 RBIs in 51 games. That's a lot of power for a 19-year-old kid. Dude is really big and tall too, and he plays first base, which, as we know, Giants fans have been pining for a power hitting first baseman for a very, very, very long time. He's since been promoted to high A Eugene, where he is slashing. He's even got better. 325, 453, 475. His OPS over 900, 928 OPS. 3 doubles and a home run in 12 games. He checks in as the Giants' number 2 prospect, according to MLB.com, and is also the number 70 overall prospect in MLB.com's top 100 list. So this dude has all sorts of potential, just teeming with talent and power, something that the Giants have really needed. He was actually drafted as a two-way player. Giants have since taken him off of that pitching track, and he's now just going to be a big bopper at that first base. So maybe he ends up in left field too. There's still some questions about where this guy's going to end up defensively. One thing that is not a question, this guy can hit, man. And we saw it in the Futures game today. If you watched any of that, you saw Eldridge pick up that hit, score that run. It's only going to be a matter of time before this kid's up in the big leagues if he keeps doing what he's doing and keeps tearing through the minors at the rate that he's going. I mean, he looks really, really, really solid. And the amount of power that he's showing as a 19-year-old, he's still going to get bigger. He's still going to get stronger. That's all really great stuff for the Giants, who have long needed a power hitting first baseman. Brandon Belt was supposed to be that guy, and he never developed into a true power hitter, but I think Belt was a lot better than people want to give him credit for. He was a solid first baseman for the Giants for a long time. Let's hope Eldridge can be a little bit better than that. And at least at the plate, it's going to be hard to be better than Belt defensively. That guy was just a vacuum at first base. I've never seen anybody dig balls quite as well as he did at first base. A great job on the defensive side for his entire career by Brandon Belt. Hopefully Bryce Eldridge can take a page out of that book by the time he gets up here. And man, we didn't even get into the Logan Webb interview. We'll keep going just a little bit longer. Don't tell my boss we're pushing this one a little bit longer. So Logan Webb, mid-game interview, talked a lot about Hayden Birdsong and making that all-star team. He said that the first person he told when he found out he made that all-star team was his wife. Said that he and Ramos found out at the same time in a team meeting where Bomel kind of announced to everybody all at once that he made it. Said he was nervous because that's not how things have gone in the past. In the past, he would find out early one-on-one, and then they would announce that the team in the Gabe Kapler regimes and things like that. So Logan Webb, an all-star, gets honored in front of his team, surprised to him, and Elliot Ramos too. Great things to see for both of those guys. But the two really interesting things that I thought were Logan said in this interview. The first one was that when they asked him if they wanted him to see Paul Skeens start in the All-Star game, he didn't answer the question. He just said he understands why fans want to see Skeens start that game. So I think Logan Webb's a competitor down to every last bit of his body, and I think he wants to start that game, even though we all know that he's not number one on that list by any means. I think Logan Webb is not ever going to sit up there and say, yeah, I want that other guy. I think he deserves it more than me. I don't think Logan Webb's ever going to say that. I think Logan Webb is a bulldog competitor all the time. And he kind of showed it in that interview just by saying, like, he just wouldn't say that he wanted to see Skeens in the All-Star game, which obviously all of us as fans want to see Paul Skeens in the All-Star game versus, Aaron Judge and all the biggest names in the American League. The other very interesting thing I thought was that came out of that interview that Webb said was he said that he specifically cited Birdsong's ability to pitch out of jams despite being so young. Despite this being his fourth big league start, he's done a great job pitching out of jams, and he saw it again today in the fifth inning where he worked out of a jam with a runner in scoring position with 2 on and didn't allow a run in the fifth before in his last inning of work in his final frame. So that was great stuff by Logan Webb on the broadcast today. The interview was ended abruptly as Mike Yastrzemski made a diving catch, and Logan Webb didn't seem too bummed to get off of that MLB on Fox interview. I'm sure if it was with our guys Krug and Kipe, he would have enjoyed if it was a little longer, but with those national broadcast guys, whatever. So the Giants end up losing 4-2 to the Twins. This game could have gone so different in so many ways. We also got to but we got to point out that Brooks Lee, playing second base for the first time in his big league career for the Twins today, made, so many good plays at second base. Giants need to take a page out of the Twins defense and start doing that themselves. And it's very impressive. I mean, I love watching Brooks. I've known this kid since he was a freshman in high school. So really fun to see guys like that succeed at this level. And dude looks like he's going to be a perennial pro for a very, very long time. Has all-star capability for the Twins. I just wish he was a Giant, man. Wish he was a Giant, but at least we all can agree. California kids can ball, dude. I mean, it seems like every high-end draft pick that comes out of high school is from a California school. It just seems how it goes. California, play some ball out in California, man. That's about all the time that we got for you guys today. Man, this show went all over the place, but there was just so much to break down, man. I feel like I could go another like 30 minutes on this one. I say this a lot, but man, there was so much to break down. The offense, we barely talked about it today. They did get 8 hits, runners in scoring position, 2 for 6, left 6 on base. It wasn't the worst offensive day, but the Giants just couldn't get runs home. So it was a weird day out at Oracle that could have gone different with a number of different things. I mean, Pat Bailey, if he doesn't let that ball get past, Yaz, if he doesn't kick that ball around in the outfield and miss the cutoff guy, Carlos Santana, if we actually had working cameras in like more than one in a pro baseball stadium. Wow, what a concept. We might actually have had a better replay review that might not have been a real home run. And then Pat Bailey, if that wall in right center field wasn't so damn deep, maybe that would have changed things too. So, I mean, there are a lot of maybes, a lot of ifs, but if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. And today the Giants, the ifs don't roll in their favor. 4-2 final. Twins win. Giants now sit at 46-50 with 1 game remaining before the All-Star break. And with a win tomorrow, they can win the series. They have not been able to pull that off in their last 2 series, though. So we'll see if the Giants can get back in the win column, can get a series win going into the break. I'm sure that all of these players would love to rest their hats on that. That's all the time that we got for you guys today on the Locked On Giants postcast. Thanks for joining us. We'll be live tomorrow as the Giants wrap up this first half of the MLB season and this series against the Twins, and we'll come to you live right afterwards as we always do. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.